Hi, I'm Kim with myhorsetails.com, and this is Mr. Tay, and he's ready to get his feet trimmed today. So we're just going to do a little video for you and show you how we do that. Hope you enjoy. Here I am filing the hoof wall down to about 1/8 of an inch above the sole plane. When I get to the other side of the hoof, I turn the file around because it's a little easier to go with the grain of the wall. I go into a roll all the way around the hoof as a straight bevel. The bevel gets a little steeper around the toe and flattens a little to the sides. Now this is what I would call the office girl stance, definitely not the farrier stance. Here I'm checking to make sure that the hoof is balanced and that the heels are the same on both sides, looking from hairline to heel and looking down the overall hoof. Here I'm rounding that bevel out all the way around, and you want to leave about 1/4 inch of its surface. Micro fissures can develop around the bottom, so I'm just doing a light rasping, and you only really need to do about the lower third of the wall. I find for doing the back feet, it would be nicer if the stand was a little bit shorter because it doesn't seem comfortable enough for when you're doing the back feet. It would be nice if their foot was a little bit lower to the ground. Mr. Tay also has a stifle or hip problem in his back right there, so he tends to pull away quite a bit when I'm doing his back left. It's difficult for him to keep all that weight on the back right. So we make sure that we take quite a few breaks, and that's just something that you should be aware of when you're working on your horse. Again, when you complete your roll, you still want to have about 1/8 of an inch of hoof wall all the way around above the sole plane. Because the back of his hoof is so strong, I take the heel height down to the same as the hoof wall, which is 1/8 of an inch above the sole plane. If the conditions were different and he had any kind of sensitivity in the back of the foot, I would tend to leave the heel height a little bit longer. Hard work. The roll I do is right for most terrains. Unless my horse was on a hard flat surface like an icy paddock, I'd flatten it out a little more. You've probably noticed by now, but I don't normally touch the sole plane at all, or the bars. If the bars are a little longer than the hoof wall, then I would bring them down to the wall height. Other than that, I don't really touch them, and taking any sole just creates more sensitivity in the hoof, so I tend to leave that alone, the hard callus material, and it flakes off on its own. And also with the frog, I tend not to touch that either unless there's flaps there that might be harboring any kind of fungus or anything like that, and then I might just take a little bit here and there to open those flaps up so that it doesn't get any worse. As you can see, Mr. Tay's walking with a heel first impact, and this was his 6-week trim.